Hey guys, welcome back to the DrCliffAuD vlog. This is vlog number 83, and today I want to talk to you about a couple things, but the main thing that I want to talk about today is this concept of receiving criticism being an influencer, okay? Now, there are other influencers in my profession. Of course, there's influencers all over the world, but the one thing that we all have in common is the fact that people will criticize you for literally anything. I have about 450 videos on my channel, and not a single video has a comment section that doesn't have at least one negative comment there. And typically these comments are like just not constructive, criticism or anything like that. It's just like they don't agree with my, my beliefs and what I believe to be true or whatever. Like they just don't agree with the way I see things. And here's the thing, like I'm okay with that. I am okay with people not agreeing with things that I talk about. I mean, when you really think about it, when you look at it in terms of viewpoints and potential biases, right? I am a hearing care professional. I dispense hearing aids. So either I'm going to be saying something potentially negative about a device, about a company, about, whatever, or I'm saying something positive about a particular device or a particular company. And either way, it can come across as me being biased against something, and it can come across as me being biased for something. And literally every video is that way. And, when I first started the channel, I really kind of made a concerted effort to just kind of go and talk about different audiologic concepts like real ear measurement, things like that. But for almost every single one of my videos, I would go into this aspect of talking about how, if you are not going to a hearing care professional who's doing these things and doing these things in this way, then you might need to consider finding a different hearing care professional. And that is not isolating to any one particular company, any one particular provider, or anything like that. Its intent is to make you aware so you can make an educated decision on who you're going to and the type of care that you're ultimately receiving so you can maximize your performance with hearing treatment. But, by me making a video talking about real ear measurement, for instance, if I say that you should really try to seek out a hearing care professional who does real ear measurement, someone could be like, Cliff, you're only saying that because you do real ear measurement, and if we call around to other competitors in your area and they don't do them, well, of course, people are going to come to the conclusion to just go to you and your clinic. And I mean, yeah, I guess so, but that's not the overall reason of why I'm doing or making that recommendation. Research backs the fact that you should be using real ear measurement to achieve optimal outcomes with hearing aids. And here's the other thing. I am in a very localized area. I mean, we are greater Phoenix area, and sometimes people do travel in to come see me at my clinic, but 99.9% of people who watch my videos will never be a patient of mine. They'll never purchase anything from me or anything like that. And then up until a couple months ago, I didn't even monetize my channel because I didn't want companies to be advertising to you because I didn't necessarily trust or know those companies. And the only reason I did monetize my channel was because YouTube was going to start playing ads that I had no control over anyway, and the only way for me to gain control over the advertisers was to sign up as a part of the, whatever you call it, the YouTube affiliate program or whatever, to monetize the channel and actually go in and restrict certain advertisers from being able to advertise on my channel. But, really at the end of the day, when it comes down to, receiving criticism, here's the thing. If someone criticizes something that I do on a video, in fact, and I openly welcome it. I often say in my videos, if you have criticism, please leave it there. I'm happy to receive criticism. But if people criticize and it's just a nasty remark and they have their own personal biases that go into why they want to leave a nasty remark, I'm sometimes going to shoot back something that comes across as me being a smartass. And, you know, it is what it is. I probably shouldn't do it, but it's just so fun, to be honest with you. And I mean, I receive a ton of criticism, and there's a lot of constructive criticism too. And there's a lot of constructive criticism from people that I actually respect inside of my own profession that don't agree with certain things that I post on my channel and certain videos that I do. And I honestly take that criticism to heart, and I'm like, okay, let me take a step back, see what they think and their reasons behind it. And if I feel like their reasons behind why I shouldn't do something or why I shouldn't say something about someone or whatever, if I feel like that is valid in comparison to what I personally believe, then I would take the video down. I've literally taken videos down before because other individuals have pointed out things in my videos that either were not factual, so I didn't fact check well enough on the videos, or they made a point of like, yeah, so Cliff, you know, this comes across this way and that isn't really either accurate or it's not the way that you really want to be, you know, conveying your information or representing yourself in our profession. And I've taken videos down for that as well. And, you know, because I am, I would say the most, viewable, the biggest influencer essentially in my particular profession. And when I say my profession, I mean audiology, but just like hearing healthcare in general. I have the largest channel, the largest following, the largest viewership when it comes down to audiologic care. And this does not include like just the earwax removal channels, right? Those are huge and they're kind of fun to watch too, which I do recommend you check those out. But you know, when I often get individuals in the hearing care world who reach out to me because they're like, hey Cliff, I want to start a channel. I want to start sharing information too and kind of help out with this, making sure people are well informed and all that. And the first thing that I always ask them is, well, how do you deal with criticism? And if they say anything along the lines of like, well, I'm not really good when people criticize me and all of that, then I'm like, then don't do it, because it is a nonstop, all you're going to get every single day is criticism. And you'll get praise too, and you'll get people who say thank you, and that's the reason why I do this. I mean, I want people to be better educated, well informed when they go in for hearing treatment. I want them to know that no matter where they go, there can be good and bad hearing care professionals who are either doing things fantastic or doing things really bad. And the one way that I help educate and help, you know, individuals find a good hearing care professional is to find someone who is committed to following best practices and to someone who follows a person-centered care approach. And of course, I have plenty of videos talking about both of those on my channel that you can find in your free time if you want to. And really, it comes down to, are you going to be willing to endure the criticism and the praise at the same time? And so someone that I follow and respect a lot is Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks about, you know what? You share the information with people, even if it's something that would negatively impact your business, you share it with them, right? You just be as honest as you possibly can. And to some degree, there will be people who are like, they don't like what you're saying and they will go somewhere else, or they will stop following you, or they will leave negative, nasty comments. They will, you know, hit the thumbs down button versus the thumbs up button. And you just have to be okay with it if you're going to put yourself out there in a public light. There are a lot of people who they hide behind screen names, like you don't know who they are. They have no impact on you in your life, and you cannot let those people get to you. And that is something that I learned very, very early on as a quote unquote influencer on YouTube, is that people are going to say bad things, and it's how you react to that. You know, and it's also this aspect of like, if you ever respond, like if you're trying to like justify your viewpoints, they'll always come back and just say, oh, well, now you're getting defensive. So like, you know, and it's just kind of ridiculous. So I've almost kind of taken the stance of if people are going to say negative, nasty things, you know, I just won't respond to a lot of them unless I'm feeling kind of squirrely in any given day. But people who respond and have like legitimate questions or concerns that are not coming across as being, you know, someone who's just trying to be nasty, if it's actually constructive, then I will often respond to that type of criticism. And sometimes we just have to agree to disagree. And that's totally fine. Like, I don't have to agree with everyone else's viewpoint. They don't have to agree with all of my viewpoints. And I think that's what makes this world so great, is that we can all have our own opinions on things, and we can all view things either good or bad from our own lenses. But really what's prompting this is that I did post another video on Costco where I sent in my assistant as a secret shopper to Costco, and I just wanted to kind of like take what her experiences were that she shared with me and disseminate that through a video. And there were a lot of people who didn't like it. Now, when I say a lot of people, the thing is that about 97% of the people who left feedback on the channel, whether it's a thumbs up or a comment, were positive in nature, and about 3% or so were negative. And, you know, that is probably a little bit more negative than what a typical video would be from me. A typical video will have, 98, 99% favorable and about 1 or 2% negative. So it just seems like anytime I talk about Costco, it kind of strikes a nerve, whether it's on the good side or the bad side. It's always on the bad side, first of all, if it strikes a nerve, because either other hearing care professionals will hate me for saying something nice about Costco, or individuals who think that Costco can do no wrong whatsoever criticize me if I ever say anything negative about them. And I've done about 12 videos or so, and I'm including videos that I've even remotely mentioned Costco. And I have about 450 videos. So it's about 2.5 to less than 3% of the video content that I have on my channel even remotely talks about Costco, whereas the other 97% of the videos on my channel talks about literally everything else and criticizes literally everybody else at the same time, including the manufacturers that I accept sponsorship money from. I criticize their stuff just as much as I criticize anyone else who is not a sponsor of mine. But this is the world. This is the way that it works in the influencer world. If you want to be able to commit the amount of time that I commit to creating video content, sponsorship is something that makes that justifiable. Because if it is just a labor of love your entire career where you receive nothing in return for anything that you do, it isn't worth taking time away from family and friends to do, I did that for several years before I started accepting sponsorship on my channel. And, here we are at this point. I know that taking sponsorship increased the amount of potential criticism that I could receive from individuals. But to be honest, if I was going to be biased, I was already biased before accepting sponsorship money, because I literally dispense products that I talk about. If I'm talking about the best hearing aids, like my clinic dispenses what I believe to be the best hearing aids. So when I'm saying that this is the best hearing aid, people could be like, Cliff, you're only saying that's the best hearing aid because that's what you sell from your clinic. And I'm like, you are right. That is a very accurate assessment. But at the end of the day, I have to run a clinic, but I also want to get information out there. And so unless there's someone who comes in who is completely outside of the industry, who's going to be doing reviews on devices and quality of care and standards of care, then I have to somehow figure out a way to get information out there in a as credible way as I possibly can. And there is a solid possibility that I'm doing a bad job of that. It is a very solid possibility that there are substantially more individuals out there who would do a much better job of this than I am. And I've just been blessed with this ability just to kind of like ramble on camera in an energetic way, which is probably the biggest reason why people watch my channel versus other channels that are out there, is just because of the way that I actually communicate. But I don't know what to do about that. I see enough positive feedback from you guys that it makes me want to continue doing this, even though people leave nasty comments and I feel bad for a little bit, right? Because it's hard to just let that stuff bounce off your back. Now, you have to be resilient, but it doesn't mean that you ignore what people are saying. I read almost every single comment that comes through on my channel, and I take that and I learn from it. And, and there are people that I respect who've criticized my content before, If you're watching, I want you guys to know that I appreciate the feedback. And so we'll just leave it at that. And I'm sure it won't be the last time that I upset people. And again, I think that that's okay, because I think all of us, to some degree, our views upset other people, and we have to be okay with that. If there are people out there who are getting at least a small amount of benefit from the content that I create, that makes me happy, and it makes it all worth it. And it makes taking the time away from my family and friends worth it as well at this point. So that is basically really the main thing that I wanted to talk about today. If I upset anybody, again, I apologize. My intent is not to ever really upset people. My intent is to educate and inform and let you guys make your own decisions on how credible you think that my feedback is and my content is. So with that said, I do want to jump into my lip surgery here. Actually, surgery is a procedure. It's not like they had to put me under. They just basically injected me, made things numb, cut open my lip, pulled out a cyst, and it bruised up pretty bad. I'm going to come a little bit closer here. But you can see that is substantially better than it was last week. Maybe I'll put up a side-by-side right here. But really, it feels a lot better. They tested the cyst. It was just a mucocele. It ended up coming back non-cancerous. So that is huge news. Big weight lifted off my shoulders over the course of this week. And then here this next week is going to be really fun too, because we have our consultant who came in and secret shopped us. Secret shopped my clinic to be able to give us feedback on areas that we can improve. And it should be really interesting. I know that this consultant's going to find things that are jacked up with my office, and I'm excited to hear the feedback on that so we can fix it. I'm gonna share that feedback with you guys to let you know where we came up short in our scheduling, treatment, fitting, all of that process, and hopefully you guys will be interested in hearing that feedback as well. So lips doing good. Obviously I'm talking okay here. I'm going to get back to recording like my legitimate videos other than vlogs tomorrow, because I think that this will be good enough to where people won't be like, what the heck is that on Dr. Cliff's face? So if you have not yet hit the like button on this video, please go ahead and do that right now. It really helps out my channel. If you did not like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs down too, because that also helps this video get recommended more to other individuals. Again, if you have a negative comment, leave it in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please leave that in the comment section below as well. And as always, guys, I'll see you next week.